So this first one is just about sewer line replacements. Okay, so give me, so if you'll please describe the scenario of you get to a homeowner's house, you get to someone's house and they're frustrated and they realize that they might need a replacement sewer or they got issues. What are they feeling when you come through, and what's the scene like usually?
Yeah, so good question. So usually we have a really good team and a great process of how the guys we handle this on a day-to-day basis as far as sewer line backups go. This is what we specialize in. It's unclogging, and unfortunately, when it comes time to replacing it, that's what we do as well. So typically, what the guys will do is we have a great process of coming out and making the client aware of all the potential things that could be going on. So before I come out, usually the situation is kind of de-escalated. There's not much stress, as our drain division does a great job on creating awareness on what could be potentially going on.
Okay. So when you get there, is the homeowner like, have they accepted the fact that they are going to have to deal with this? They're going to be out of their house. They're going to have to dig something up, or are they, still hopeful that it's going to be an easy situation?
Yeah, good. So usually when we come out, we have a set list of options we're going to make. We do a great job of providing the homeowner all the potential situations that could happen in the future, as far as if we did do only a immediate repair all the way to a premium solution where we never have to deal with this kind of situation again. And we can provide all that information on hand.
Okay. So what are the signs that someone has sewer damage?
Good question. Number one thing is that you're going to start having issues with your drains, slow drains, potential bubbling in the toilet, any uncommon smells. It's usually been in a home for a while before you have any type of backup. Unfortunately, some situations it does happen quickly. You just move into a home, you get caught unlucky, but you'll have some sort of smells, odors is a huge sign, and that's slow drains as well, multiple drains.
And where does that foul smell come from? Is it always from the toilet, or is it from any drain that's backed up?
Yeah, usually from any drain in the home.
Okay. And, a lot of times people's drains they drain slow, right? And maybe it dissipates and it goes away. When is a slow drain an indicator of something bigger, of a bigger issue?
Yeah, so anytime I say when there's going to be more than one drain in the home that's having an issue at the same time,
okay,
it's going to be a huge sign that you're going to be having a potential main drain blockage. If it's usually one drain, we'll be able to isolate that and take care of that as well.
Okay. What about like flooding? Is there ever a flooding in the house or outside or like under in the basement or something? And what does that mean?
Yeah, so of course the sewer line never backs up when you want it to. Usually, at least normally what we experience is there'll be turn on the dishwasher or washing machine, or kids taking a shower upstairs helping with bath time is usually when it happens, so no one's around, and sewers do back up at the lowest point in your home. So if you're lucky or unlucky, that could mean potentially into a bathtub, or most of the time flooding, like you said, because it does back up into the lowest drain, which is the floor drain, the emergency drain in your home, and the basement most of the time.
Mm. And does that ever develop into like water damage? So would water come up from cracks in flooring in the basement, or would it come in from walls? Is that ever an indicator?
Yeah, usually. So if you're having water coming up from underneath something, it's going to be a huge sign that there's either natural water or sewer problems. As most of the drains are, they used cast iron systems back in the day. And I don't know if you know, number one thing I always tell everyone is the cast iron cooking skillet. We learned the hard way that those don't do good with dish soap or anything, right? So you can just imagine what the pipe looks like underneath the home, all the years of water and waste going down that pipe. So that is a huge sign that there's going to be sewer problems in the home.
I love to use cast iron too, and if you leave it like wet, even for like 20 minutes, it starts to go bad. So I can't even imagine how that can carry water for decades and decades.
Right, and it's not an ideal long-term solution for sure. So another huge sign is you might see cracking in the concrete in your basement,
Okay.
and that's a sign that there's going to be water damage, water seeping underneath.
All right. So now we have all the signs covered. What about how homeowners can avoid super large replacement costs? So, if you have a cast iron or you have an old house or you're just in it for the long haul, right?
Right.
I have 3 points here, hopefully that you can just speak on each one of them. So, how often should sewer lines be inspected?
Okay. Yeah, so great question. So the best way to do any sort of maintenance to your sewer line is installing a set of standard two-way sewer cleanouts. What those will do is give you real access, so we don't have to, number one, come in the home, inconvenience the family. Number two, we can do our annual cleaning or annual sewer inspection down the drain to make sure that you stay on top of it. I don't know about you, but I don't want to have any of these sewer problems. So if we can send a camera down or a snake down once a year to avoid that, that'd be the best way to make that happen for sure.
And is that yearly or biannually inspection? Is that like for, if you have a 10-year-old house, would that be the same suggestion you give to someone who has a 100-year-old house with cast iron?
It's a good question. So it's all going to depend on what we see on the initial sewer scope. That's going to determine a lot what we're seeing determine what we're going to really be able to see on the pipe. Unfortunately, we don't have X-ray vision. I know my kid likes to act like he does, but dad has to use a sewer camera to see what's actually going on in that pipe. So what we'll do is we'll come out. We always offer a free one-time sewer camera as well to any customer first time using Smith, which is huge. So we can determine if it's going to be, we have some customers we go out quarterly actually to do cleanings on. Other customers once every 2 years does justice. So it's all situational. Biggest thing is getting that camera down the pipe for sure.
Okay. What about outdoors? I know that trees are a big issue. So how to identify if any trees should be removed, mainly as like a precautionary issue?
Yeah, that's actually a very common thing that we get asked is, or get told is, I took the trees out 5 years ago. I'm not sure why this is still happening. I'm not an arborist. I don't know much about trees. I do love gardening though. So I do know that the roots tend to grow straight down, and that root system, unless you're ripping out every root in your yard and actually getting to that pipe, still going to be trying to grow in. I mean, it's fertilizer for your soup for any sort of grass, roots, trees, anything in that area.
Okay. So would you typically, what are the things called when you put the flags in the ground outside? So
yeah, just get like some markings done.
Yeah, so markings. So is this something you would ever do, is go and mark out a sewer or, look at the permitting and kind of indicate what tree should be taken out? Or is that not something that people do typically?
No, good question. So nice thing about Smith Plumbing as well is we are a full service company. So we can take care of all of the landscaping needs that are potentially needed after the damage. I mean, we do have to get an excavator in to do any sort of repair or replacement on the pipe. So ideally, we don't want to have to do any damage to the yard. We freeze where they're at. We'll try and reroute the sewer pipe to do less damage. It's all situational, but we can take care of all the aftermath, which is huge.
Okay. So apart from old pipes, that have the technology has improved, right? And so these old pipes just didn't stand the test of time, or it's just been inevitable that they have to be replaced or repaired on. What are the common bad daily issues or behaviors that homeowners do that cause problems for their home that they could avoid?
That's a really good question, actually. And a properly constructed drainage or sewage system should never have a problem. Actually, we've been in our house for about 4 years now. It's from 2010, so it's a kind of older home, not brand new home. And there's you should never have to worry about a drain potentially being the problem backing up if it's designed correctly. So and for example, me being a plumber, I carry a snake on hand. The only thing you should really try to avoid that I would recommend would be to potentially put, any sort of cover over the bathtub. The hair is going to be the biggest thing when you're shaving. Just running extra water with the shaving cream would be a big one. That's about it.
So even just like hair down the drain, like if I were to shave and that goes down the drain, like that eventually can cause issues.
Correct. Yeah. There are twists and turns in the pipe. So eventually, with running more water, the more water and the more maintenance that you do on the system will help prevent those kind of clogs.
Wow. I just figured those hairs are so small, so who cares? They're going down, but maybe I should take a precaution. Okay, so how long do sewer lines typically last? What are the different types of sewer lines, and is there kind of a window on, how long someone should basically budget to replace them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So any home before 1982, your plumbing system is going to be what we consider obsolete material in a sense, meaning we don't typically install it unless it's in a large commercial application. So typically what you'll see in homes before that is going to be cast iron piping for your inside sewer system. You'll see galvanized steel and lead piping for your above ground drains, which is a crazy idea. A lot of the times outside you'll see orange bird pipe or clay tile, which is going to be all of those materials are put into smaller sections than we're able to do now. They're typically in 3-foot sections, and that's what actually causes all of the problem, is the shifting of the home, the settling, and all of that kind of stuff will cause those to open up. Even homes that they put in nowadays, we're seeing homes that are put in as recently as 2000, 2002, 2020, really. It all depends on how the pipe is installed and if it's installed correctly, if you're going to have any issues. So even the installation of plastic PVC or the Schedule 40 pipe that we install now, or the SDR pipe that we'll install, you will see potential problems if it's not done correctly. So making sure that you have a professional company do the installation or do a camera on any age of the home. This is going to be huge to make sure that you don't have a backup.
Okay, so someone basically takes those time windows, or based on whatever type of pipe they have, and they call you guys to come out and just gauge where their system's at, give an inspection. What are the steps that you guys do in an inspection?
Yeah, good, great question. So we always recommend that you do a drain cleaning first of any system, even if it's not backing up. The reason why we want to do that is we want to get the drain as clean as possible. There is going to be some sort of backup or debris in any sort of system. So the first step in any process is cleaning the drain.
What are those tiered solutions that you offer? Like, what is the most, just not exactly all the individual things, but is the bottom one just kind of a fix it so that you can worry about it in a year? Is the middle tier something that will last a bit longer, and a complete overhaul is take out everything and replace everything?
Yeah, good question. So of course the more premium solutions are going to be solutions that you ideally never want to have a plumber out at your house again, especially for a drain. Yeah, those are more for people that have had these kind of problems in the past or plan on being in the home forever. And that leans more towards a full replacement type solution. Your more middle options are going to keep you kind of up and going. Like you said, potentially going to sell the house in a couple of years, or don't want to invest, or not necessarily can invest all the funds into the more premium plans. These will kind of help guide you towards that, buy you some time. The bottom two are going to be our more economical Band-Aid type solutions, really just we need a pipe to work right now, and you know.
Cool. Okay. All right. So give me like a call to action for homeowners to consider Smith Pink for replacement. So give me like a differentiator, just something that you would see on the tail end of like a commercial. You know what I mean?
Good question. So one thing I always tell everyone is we've been around since 1974 in Colorado Springs. Anything about this community, they're no one to mess with. They're very, very tight. Everyone knows everyone, I found out. And smart thing that Smith does, we drive bright pink trucks. So we make sure we do a damn good job because we're not outrunning you in any sense. So that's why I would call Smith for sure.
All right, cool.